You know, I don't know if I ever truly understood the phrase "stupid is as stupid does" until this week. We got a lot of stupid to talk about.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, we got a stupid government saying that they basically want propaganda games. We got a stupid comic book series that is basically fucking up the DC Trinity because Scott Snyder is just as bad as the other Snyder. And then we've got a stupid video game to talk about as Mike does a review this week. And then finally a stupid actress who sucked it up, her show failed, and she blames it all on my racism. Yeah.
You're embracing your inner Eustace. Your inner Eustace bag.
Yeah. When it comes right down to it, folks, stupidity, it seems to be something that is just, well, on the docket for today. So, let's go ahead and get started because, Jesus Christ, there is so much ranting to be done. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again, to On the Grind. So to get us rolling with our weekly review, Mike, for some reason, played the 2022 Saints Row game. Take it away, Mike.
Oh goodness. So I was a fan of Saints Row from roughly the second installment, and it was pretty good. Like, it had a gritty world that was like offset by all the goofy shit you could do, right? So extraordinarily gritty story. It was surprising to me when I first played it, just how brutal everything actually was when you thought about it. Like, there were members of your gang that die, or their family get killed, or just, it's an absolute masterpiece of, like, GTA clones.
The Texas funeral scene.
Oh, goodness, the Texas funeral.
Saints Row 4, they just blew up the Earth.
They just blew up the Earth and then put everybody in the Matrix style for one city. And I mean, well, it was sort of okay. Like,
but then they went to hell.
And then they went to hell. I mean, that's where it kind of belongs. That's where it should have stayed. And so they rebooted it in 2022 with Saints Row here. And I had the misfortune of playing this because my younger brother gave it to me for my birthday, which just recently happened.
Happy birthday.
And thank you. And he gave me some other games along with it, but like 80% of my problems with this game are in the first 10% and the last 10%. Okay? That's how chapped those two parts made me, alright? So, you know how I mentioned how I like the grittiness of the 2, 3, 4-ish, even though it was getting kind of goofy? Well, 4, or I should say, this reboot here, I don't know how to explain it. It felt dishonest, alright? So, the way the game starts is that you make your boss, and there's this wild-ass party happening, and someone murders you. And then they throw your ass in a grave. And then you get back to the couple like months earlier before the gang forms. And you and your roommates rob a payday loan place to pay the rent. And it turns out that this is basically just like the pattern of behavior here to be expected. This is just something they expect to do. And it chapped my ass because it was starting to get, I didn't want to like deal with all these millennial woe bullshit, especially the coastal millennials, because I swear to God, I can't stand coastal millennials. I just cannot. And it was just coastal millennial bullshit the whole way. And then it started calming down a little bit as the game progressed, and you're supposed to like take over the Santa Aleso. You know how in like previous games that you could do like the weird side jobs?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they gatekeep these behind placing buildings around Santo Aleso. And so you don't get to the cool jobs until like the very end of the game. But that's fine. So you make money, you progress through the story, and the fucking story chapped my ass right up until a certain point. And that's where you meet up with a character known as the Nahuatl. I think that's his fucking name. It's the magician in. It means the magician in Aztec.
Mm-hmm.
And the first mission you have, you and the PMC you're working for capture him, mostly because of you. And you don't get your bonus for the mission because your commanding officer is a hard ass. And so he goes to their super secret prison, and for some reason, in the next mission, the owner of the Marshall PMC decides to promote you to run security for an operation which goes badly, and then immediately fires you. And then you spend the next mission wallowing in sadness until you realize that your best friends are about to get fucking murdered because another gang is set to like kill them just because they felt like it over a fucking book. I forgot about that part. Oh god. So you go through the game, you start doing the side missions. My brain kind of like seethed from that a little bit because that's where they started making like the side missions a lot more like mandatory because they gatekept the story that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so the side missions like softened all my like hatred of the story, and I found myself actually enjoying myself when the one character, your autistic black friend, introduces you to the county-wide LARP, which felt genuine enough that my brain became, a little less guarded about this whole experience, because they were genuinely like playing this weird version of like live-action roleplay of D&D meets Knights of the Round Table versus Mad Max.
Okay.
The whole county plays this game. And I enjoyed it because, against my will, almost, it feels like. Because they weren't being ironic about with anything here. Everyone seemed to actually enjoy playing it, and they weren't like trying to subvert nothing. Nothing. There was no subversion of anything whatsoever. It was the most authentic part of the whole fucking game. So that's attached to a business that you have to unlock, and then you more or less take over the LARP gang world. It's a little strange. And story progresses, and then you have to break out the Nahuatl because he's as far as I know, he's as far as we can tell, the only competent person in the whole fucking city that can help you rob a train.
Nah.
And then you take him on a corporate retreat, which ends in a bloodbath because nobody can help themselves. Nobody can help themselves. And then you finally get to the part where you rob a train. That was fun. Where you had to, even though it was just going from one room to the next, where you just had to shoot and go to cover, kill people. It was fun. So it just progressed from this. And that's where my beef with the story started ending. I was like, okay, whatever. They got over their coastal millennial bullshit. Fine. And then, spoiler alert, after the train robbery and all this, and you get enough businesses down, the Nahuatl, after seeing that you're a successful person, and decides, you know what, he's going to replace you. So he's the guy that murders you in the beginning, and then you have to go on a drug-induced post-death rampage to get back to life. And then you go on a rampage. Yeah, it's a little strange. It wasn't a bad sequence. I mean, that's not my beef with the ending. All right. So you go on a rampage back out of this afterlife business into the life of the living, all your equipment is missing, so you go and steal his equipment, and then go on a roaring rampage of revenge to find your friends. And then you use a jet to essentially fight your way back to the casino, because for some reason he has a shit ton of cartel helicopters. It's never explained why he has so many cartel. He might be an ex-federale, I don't know. That's not my beef so far, alright? So, as you're going through this roaring rampage of revenge, the mood is like gone, alright? There's no more partyings, there's nothing, right? Because when you wake up out of dig yourself out of the grave, the entire church is just filled with dead people. Just dead people. And then you're going on this rampage of revenge to get your still surviving roommates back. And so you do. You fight your way to the top of this casino. And you kill the Nahuatl. And you're on the top of the casino, and you're just looking at the sunset with your bros. If the game ended there, that's where my beef with this game would end. Right? I would be like, okay, all right, so these writers, they've learned their lessons. They've grown as writers through this process of creating this video game. They've ended this game successfully. But no, there's an epilogue where you have to earn $8 million to put down a skyscraper, which is owned by the Saints, and then you are subjected to the worst version of Love Shack I have ever heard in my life.
Oh, God.
What's
So
Love Shack?
everyone...
It's
It's a song from the 80s and 90s.
B-52s. Yeah.
By the B-52s that... before this, I actually enjoyed.
I would like to say something real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the fact that Serena has never heard Love Shack... I just want to describe how I look right now. I am pinching the inside of like the bridge of my nose in frustration. we have so much culture we need to give you.
The same as you guys, I am the youngest member here. I didn't grow up with the stuff you grew up with.
Did you not turn on a radio?
Hold on. I'm going to say this. Let me put it this way. You are not the youngest one here. Banjo's sitting in my lap. Banjo's my black cat. Banjo is a little over a year old, and he side-eyed once you said that, Serena. Even Banjo knows that.
Oh no! Oh no! Yes. See, this is why I say we have to get you cultured.
We have to catch
stuff
her
like
up.
that. We really do. There's so much great stuff that you have not experienced yet.
God. But yeah, the worst version of Love Shack I've ever heard. Eli, fucking Kevin, fucking... I can't even remember the Mexican lady's name. All singing the worst version of Love Shack you've ever heard. While all your staff from all your various businesses are dancing and partying as if most of their friends didn't just fucking die literally one mission ago.
This is that... Hey, and Mike, you're going to know what I'm talking about. This is that shit Cap used to talk about, where these writers and shit only know about real-world interaction from watching TV.
Because it feels like they were watching Shrek, and they're like, oh, it's kind of like Shrek, where at the end everyone was singing fucking.
Now it's time for the musical number, you know.
Time for the musical number. Oh, yeah. And that genuinely, once I put that building down, and I was subjected to that awful version of Love Shack, which included not only like your roommate singing it, but then the fucking Marshall PMC board singing it, the girl you hate the whole fucking game singing it, like, and then they cut to a scene where the Nahuatl's grave is being peed on by a dog. That's when my brain was like, I fucking hate this game. Like, my hate for it went from like a boiling 20% to a roaring 150% once this scene played out in front of my eyes, and I Alt F4'd and I uninstalled it. I don't care that I was enjoying the DLC at that point, because there's other DLC where it had like a manhunt where you had to kill a celebrity director because he wouldn't give a celebrity the go ahead to go through his stupid fucking biopic, and then you have to do like a heist to like steal all his the guy's money because he refused to pay the bounty that he promised you. That was kind of neat. And then there was another one which was based off of the Red Wedding, where you had to defend against the Ice Queen's like minions as she ruins your wedding that you were going to be married to the girl that you fucking hate throughout the fucking game, because the girl that you fucking hate runs one of the LARP kingdoms. She's the Queen of the Phoenix. I don't know.
Oh God.
I genuinely didn't care at that moment. I Alt F4'd and I fucking uninstalled that game so fucking fast. And I am super chapped that this game wasted my time like that.
Okay.
I cannot stand coastal millennial writers.
You want to know something that's going to chap you even more, Mike?
Hmm.
You want to know who they rejected to be one of the writers on this game?
Hurt me. Oh.
They turned me down.
Goddamn.
I told them I told them that, I'm originally from the Chicago area. I've studied gangs. I have friends that were in gangs. One of my friends used to be a member of the Latin Kings. I understand this. I would be great for this job. They turned me down, and then this is what they created.
So, I did everybody a favor and listened to it. I muted myself, and it's awful, like Mike said. But the best part is watching the comments. Let me pick some good ones here. I will never regret quitting the game industry.
No doubt.
Is this supposed to not make me want to shoot myself? Hey, fellow young millennials, look how much fun they are having. Truly the most video game of 2022. Hey,
yeah.
Just like this is like the ending to freaking Shrek movie, but obviously Shrek would do it better.
That was my thoughts. They were trying to capture the energy of Shrek. That after it turned out that Fiona is actually an ogress herself, and then and the bad king's dead. Hurrah! Let's all sing fucking goddamn All Stars together, right? But no, I am genuinely incensed by this game.
Yeah, this is a franchise that, for those of you out there who have never played Saints Row, Mike gave it some detail, but while he was talking, I remembered some of the key moments. This is a series where there was a Texas funeral. So for those of you who don't know what a Texas funeral is, looking at Serena, a Texas funeral is basically you bury somebody alive in a casket, 6 feet underground. So, and it's a brutal one because the character of Johnny Gat, who is easily the best character in this franchise, beats the ever-loving piss out of somebody who was responsible for the death of his girlfriend. There's that. Then one of your fellow gang members, during, I think it's, what were the Red Gang? What were they called in two? The Beasts or something like that? Michael Dorn was actually their leader. He chains one of your gang members to the back of a truck, and they drag the kid throughout the town, and you have to mercy kill him. Like shit like that. Like it could be over the top, but it also had some really grim moments too. It was just sort of like an over the top, sometimes silly story about gangs. Whereas this is embarrassing what I'm hearing.
And then, if I may,
go ahead.
Then in Saints Row the Third, you become the president of the United States, and your vice president is Keith freaking David.
Yeah.
Isn't that the fourth one?
That was the third.
That's the third one. That's when they start getting like super silly.
No, it is the fourth one. It was the fourth one. My bad. The third one was when they were rock stars.
Yeah, they were being celebrities and fucking weird about it, and then Shandi becomes like a huge cunt because because she mistakenly, well, not mistakenly, she legitimately thought that Gat was murdered aboard that plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kept the vibe up of, okay, so anybody can die.
Yeah.
And that kept it grounded. I hate to say it. I hated it at the time, but it kept it grounded right up until 4.
Look, you can hate on 4 all you want, but I freaking loved it. I love the fact that
it's goofy as shit. I love
love
the human
I love that
abilities.
David, freaking vice president, and you actually get to do They Live in the game
With Roddy Piper.
with Roddy
Yeah.
Piper. Like,
So
Hey,
it's a nice. Oh my god.
2 last comments, Mike. I think you would like from this. I think you would agree. The first one is hell has to be just like this.
Yeah.
And this one is my favorite. I have no horse in this race, but damn if I had one, I would shoot it to death.
Oh, that's good.
Oh.
I think it goes without saying that Mike does not recommend this game.
I do not.
Lady Old,
It was a waste of fucking time. Holy shit. Oh.
Yeah, if
Lady
you can
Old-
get it to run, play 2.
God.
but
It was a
came in-
waste of 44 hours. Oh my god. Ugh.
I think we all agreed that 2 is where it came into its own because 1 was
Yeah.
more we're just making a GTA clone, and
Yeah.
but 2 is when it really opened the door. Yeah, that's when the goofy stuff started, but it did that to differentiate it from GTA,
Yeah.
which was good.
Because like in Saints Row 2, you could take like a truck and then
Yeah.
just cover the town with shit
Mm-hmm.
as a side mission. That was fantastic. And then and then in 3 it sort of calmed down a little bit, and 4 it calmed down a little bit more, but went into weird Iron Man mode. I was like, okay, whatever. It's
Always
fine.
when everybody got superpowers. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
got superpowers and became
It turned
Iron
into
Man.
Crackdown, basically.
Yeah.
Although it's so funny because like my character, I always loved the character customization in that game because you can just about make anything. So I basically made a blue Dr. Manhattan, metallic Dr. Manhattan. Gave him the Jason Statham voice, and in important missions ran around naked.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You make a fucking goofy ass character. And I put fucking clown makeup on my fucking character the whole game. It was appropriate the whole fucking time.
Mm-hmm. Like this feels about right.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're looking for a fun time with a GTA clone, yeah, you can't go wrong with the older Saints Row games. But yeah, avoid this shit. Good lord. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So this is horrifying.
Speaking of shit,
God.
Yeah. Now, we're not specifically talking about Dustborn, but we are going to make references to it. So, this is disturbing to me. So, this is from Niche Gamer. Serena brought this to our attention. Citizens have discovered that the United States government is investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, into what they are calling counter-disinformation games. Because, I guess the Pravda sounds like a great idea. According to a funding opportunity from the U.S. Department of State, $275,000 USD, which is not much, was earmarked by the U.S. Embassy in the Netherlands for a pitch meeting these specifications. Produce an English and Dutch language pilot version of a counter-disinformation game. Requirements below. Produce a French version of the game. Produce one additional translation into a European, Asian, or African language to be determined at a later date. Host the game on the company's own servers. Develop and implement data collection and analysis methodologies to demonstrate the project's achievement of expected results. Promote the games to target audiences. So, I want to break this down for those of you that are listening. The government wants to fund a video game made either in the United States or in a different country. And they want to put money towards it. Specifically for blatant political messaging. And on top of that, make sure that it is able to be sold not only in English and Dutch markets, but also in French, other areas of Europe, Asia, and Africa. So, understand that basically what is being requested by the United States government and its current administration is for money to go into making a propaganda video game meant not just to propagandize to American citizens, but also our allies as well, and other nations outside of it. That's fucking horrifying.
Oh, God.
Like, I don't like... I feel sometimes that the term Orwellian gets thrown around a little bit too much, but this is Orwellian. This absolutely is. Because these are the questions that never get asked. Because, and the reason we use Dustborn is that is sort of like what our expectation is for what this type of a game would look like. Because I don't think it was developed in the Netherlands. Where was it developed?
Norway.
So it was, so not too far away. Still in that part of Northern Europe. This is the sort of thing that we imagine, where it is effectively meant to promote the worldview that is in vogue in the United States government right now, which, given the current administration, is progressivism. That is the current direction of the Democratic Party. Now, let me say this to everybody who's listening, might be listening, might not agree with the politics of people involved here. If this was a Republican thing, I would be just as fucking horrified.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's morally wrong, in my opinion, to turn the arts into propaganda.
Genuinely.
Der Stürmer was evil. The Pravda was evil. Period, point blank. There's no other way to look at it. But some people within the government seem to think that those were good ideas, and that should scare people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't... Again, I get on people for fear-mongering too much. You know, I had a rant a couple of weeks ago about that. This is the sort of stuff that's actually scary. This is the sort of stuff that should make you go, oh God, this is not good.
Mm-hmm.
This is the sort of thing that should get people calling their senators and their representatives and saying, you have to stop this. You know?
Stop funding it, at least. Like, if my thing is, you know, a company can make what they want, you know, and the free market will take care of it, right? One way or the other.
Yeah.
They have so far. I mean, 25,000 sold minimum. Or wait, no, that'd be the Concord.
Yeah, but, well, either way, they're both doing terrible. But either way, the problem is, like, when you're getting in government involved and stuff like that, you're putting the thumb on the scale, you know, and you're mitigating any losses that company would have had, and they'll just keep making this shit because they're basically always going to have funding. You know, I don't care if it doesn't sell. I put it out there. You know, that's their, because we know, you know, me and Mike have had this discussion before many times. These people don't care about making money. They care about getting ideology out there, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, it doesn't matter what the ideology is. I don't care, like you said, left wing, right wing, progressive, you know, whatever. The whole point is that this is, you know, I mean, like you know, looking at the stuff that they got in this game, like, you know, the skills, you know, cancel. We've learned how to cancel someone. Cancel will allow us to isolate people from their friends and compatriots. In battle, this could be a useful tool against enemies.
And this is supposed to be the hero story.
Here's another one. Here's another one from Dustborn. This one, shout out to Almighty Lolly, who we will be starting the crowdfund for Cyberpop by the end of this week. So hopefully everybody who listens to this, hopefully you're already on the mailing list. But Lolly actually posted this. So it said, bully. We've learned to bully people. Apparently bullying is good in certain scenarios. Bully gives us the power to force people to do something they may not want to do, or to make them feel bad about themselves. In fights, this could be highly effective on targeted enemies. This reminds me of a certain statement from a certain consumer that there are no bad tactics, only bad targets.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this sort of thing is what we want to avoid.
Or in this one, if I may, real quick.
Go for it.
Normalize. We've learned how to normalize negative emotions. Normalize gives us the ability to make people think certain behaviors or feelings are normal. But I'm not sure it will do much for us in a fight.
Yeah.
Oh God! I swear to God, I saw a gaslight for somewhere around there. Ugh.
I think I saw a gaslight. I just had to actually find it.
Gaslight girl boss. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where when I think back to like dystopian fiction that I've read, Brave New World, 1984, Animal Farm, the one thing that the government always does in those particular scenarios is control information. And of course, for those of you who have never read the classic literature, but you've played Metal Gear Solid 2, think about the end of that is, we don't look to control information, we look to create context. It's the same fucking thing!
Mm-hmm.
It's worse, because it's the concept of crafting a narrative. And the reason that this should horrify you is because they effectively want to take the arts, which are human expression, which are supposed to give some sort of an insight into the creative ideas of a human being. They want to take that and they want to bastardize it into something that they want to use to try to force you to think a certain way, taking away your free will. It is exactly what the Nazis did. It is exactly what the Soviet Union did. It's what the Khmer Rouge did. It's what still happens in North Korea. And I don't like to get too political with these things, but this is one of those things where everybody should be scared. And everybody should see this, and everybody should be pissed off. Because if you're not pissed off now, you're not willing to say something about it now, something like this will only get worse.
Yep. When it's in your, eventually when it's in your Devil May Cry and your, God of War and things like that, the games you actually enjoy, don't come crying at that point.
Because this is the thing. I get on people all the fucking time because people get mad at me because I say it's not that big of a deal that, you can't look up Ashley's skirt in Resident Evil 4. Because Resident Evil is not about being a perv, it's about killing zombies and other monsters. And the reason I say that calling that and being obsessed with that in regards to the culture war is because that gets too much attention and stuff like this doesn't get enough. And this is the actual stuff that will fuck you over in the long run. And this is what will actually take your games away. And this is what will take your movies away. And this is what will take your music away. This sort of shit will actually do damage. This is what deserves the attention, not some chick's skirt.
It's one of those things where if you... it's one of those things, it's like, how we, the old saying, like, well, if so-and-so's getting upset, then it must be a big deal, right? Like, the fact that you, of all people, are sounding the alarm on this means people need to pay attention,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, for those of you out there, spread the word about something like this. Make sure that it's known. The article is up on Niche Gamer if you want to read it. And it is, again, it's horrifying. Make sure people see it. And if there's content creators out there that are bitching about other things and they're not talking about this, bring this up to them. Maybe they didn't see it. Get the word out that this is not okay. All right, next topic.
Right? Oh, God.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Which one? Yes.
Right?
Yes. What?
God.
What? Why you do this?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
When did Brian Shaw become Batman? Why does he not have a bat? Why does he not have a bat on his chest? Why is it just a rectangle with a bunch of spikes on it?
Apparently, that rectangle will eventually become the bat symbol after he goes through a bunch of fights.
Well, I'll eventually use this book as toilet paper. It doesn't really mean a whole lot. Like,
It's like you know how you avoid having to do stuff like that. Don't do it.
yeah. Why is Superman gay again? At least that's what I'm assuming. Why is he a twink?
Right?
Or the lead singer of My Chemical Romance? Like, what the fuck? Not that there's a difference.
This is
What?
not.
I was gonna say, isn't that guy from Tekken 8? Tekken 7? Ah,
Yeah, what's his name? I know what you're talking about.
Carlos?
Miguel?
Carlos, yeah. Miguel, that's it. Miguel.
Miguel.
Yeah.
No, he's not buff enough to be Miguel. Miguel looks like he eats.
Whoever this is. Why is Wonder Woman carrying Guts' sword?
It's not. Those aren't even Gutses. That's
Totally.
Clouds.
Yeah, it's
Well,
Cloud
either way.
Buster.
Doesn't really matter.
Don't tell a Berserk fan that.
It doesn't really matter.
Hey, when they show up at your front door, I'm just saying. I warned
Let me
you.
put-
All right.
Let's put it this way: they show up at my front door with a sword. They're going to find out that's not going to do them any good anyway.
Oh Lord. Anyway, but
No.
what? Why?
Yeah.
Apparently, this is a universe influenced by Darkseid. The story is that during or after Absolute Power, Darkseid dies in the main universe, the main Prime DC universe.
Again?
But somehow is alive in this Absolute Power universe. And
That's not how it works.
Nope.
This is what I read on about this new line of comics. Apparently, his essence influenced this universe. Hence, why you have these versions of the Trinity.
That doesn't make any
Terrible.
fucking sense.
This isn't the Trinity. This is the trio. Like,
This is bad cosplay. Like,
Superman were
In this
raised by
In this
Martha.
universe, oh my god. Oh, terrible.
yeah, let us finish ranting real quick. Because we got to talk about the designs here, because these look legit bad. Like, Batman's whole thing is stealth. He is vengeance, he is the knight, he is Batman. Batman being that big is stupid.
Oh god, the bat who lifts is what I seen once. Oh,
Yeah, like that's big. It's because the person who is behind this, to no surprise, is Scott Snyder, who is basically the Zack Snyder of comic books.
Where people named Snyder has the worst idea when it comes to depicting comic book characters.
Pretty much, because this like he tried to say that, oh, this is a Batman without privilege.
Oh god. Ow.
Yeah. So, middle class
That's
Batman, and he said that, oh, this Batman can be big because he doesn't have to ever wear tuxedos and suits. First off, Bruce Wayne is not a small person.
Oh.
Bruce Wayne is 6'2" and weighs around 220, 230 pounds. That's the size of a UFC heavyweight champion. That's a big guy.
yeah.
So Bruce could stand eye to eye with Superman. They were the same height, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Bruce has always been big, but you've taken him from being big to being a giant. I look at this version of the Batman, and I just in the back of my head I just hear, well, it's the Bat Show. It's a big Bat Show down tonight. What the fuck?
What?
Oh, the Big
Like-
Show is a wrestler who's really tall.
If I may, reading something. This was from San Diego Comic-Con from a month ago. This was who's doing this? Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder.
Yeah. What he said. Now, this is about Superman. Oh boy. He said this book is about looking at the original concept of Superman and asking what he'd be like if he was created today. He said anything can change. The only thing he will commit to is that kryptonite explodes. He said this universe is about them being all alone and not throwing Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman together immediately. Things didn't work out the way they were supposed to work out, and that left Absolute Superman a little bit isolated, a little bit angry, and kind of sexy.
So he's not... So first off, Superman has always been handsome.
Right? Yeah.
Like every actor except for Brandon Routh, that has played Superman has been tall, square-jawed, classically handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Routh is the only one who did not look like Superman. Even the new guy who's going to be playing him, to be honest, he kind of looks like Henry Cavill. So,
right.
But they have that look. This Superman looks disheveled. Looks like he hasn't eaten. He just looks dumb. Superman, like you have to this is the thing is he even raised by Pa and Ma Kent?
No.
Oh my fucking God.
He's basically Kal-El. This is just Kal-El if he arrived to Earth as an adult.
So he's not really Superman.
Oh, God.
And this is another thing that bothers me. This is the thing of what makes Superman Superman. Superman is a Midwest country boy. He is from the heart of America. He's just as American as he is Kryptonian, if not more so. He is a representative of what the best of humanity can be, morally speaking, even though he's not actually human. Taking that away from him, you have taken away what makes Superman Superman.
He's just strong alien man.
Yeah, that's basically what he is.
He's Omni-Man. I don't know how far they'll go with that, but you know what I mean. Like,
I wouldn't use Omni-Man. I was thinking more like Hyperion.
No, wait a minute. As an example of a character who is just shows up on Earth, he wasn't born here. He doesn't have the values, etc.
Gotcha. I get you. Okay, fair enough. But so that's stupid. Like,
doesn't get converted by that human pussy. Well.
Here's what gets my goat is this is the trigger phrase. Modern audiences.
Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, I hate it.
Hate it already. Right.
Scott Snyder has now made me once again. Suddenly, I'm not as angry as I am about the fact that Henry Cavill is not Superman, because at the very least, James Gunn seems to have more of an idea about who Superman is than the actual people writing Superman.
Yeah. Now, granted, this is like an Elseworld tale. This is not reflected on the main universe, but
thanks be to Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where, like you said, key phrases, like you said, modern audiences. What if he was created today? This kind of crap. Like, here's the thing about when people say, what if he was created today? Values don't change. Unless you're Kamala Harris. But values don't change. Things that are true are always going to be true. Good is good, bad is bad, right? What you should say is not, what if he was created today? It's like, what if I created him? So, put your own biases in there. Just admit it. Don't act like you're being
this motherfucker's older than any of us are.
Right. But, I'm saying, don't pretend like you're being such high concept, in your wording. No, you just want to make your own version of Superman. I guarantee you, I'm going to make some predictions. I don't know if they're true or not, but I'm going to make some predictions. He's going to kill. He's going to kill often. I guarantee it. Batman is going to kill. He's going to kill often. Wonder Woman is going to kill. She's going to kill often. They're going to make a grim and gritty DC, absolute DC. That's what's going to happen. I guarantee it. Because The world is bad. Nothing can fix it. So everything must reflect how bad the world is, right?
Hope is not
Well,
allowed.
Hope not allowed.
And then what's Diana's
I will
deal?
be glad to be wrong. But I don't.
Diana is apparently the mascara doesn't exist, and Diana was raised by Cersei, and she's a witch. That's what they haven't really revealed a whole lot about actual Wonder Woman, other than those pieces I've been picking up from creators on Twitter.
Jesus.
Terrible. Horrible fucking mess this is turning into.
I don't know when this happened, but it drives me absolutely fucking batty that these current comic book writers have just missed the point of these characters so hard.
You know, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, but in a way, we kind of got to blame Frank Miller.
Oh?
Because he started the deconstruction phase, right? Pretty much.
Well, him and Alan Moore and kind of like that wave of British writers that came out around that time.
Yeah, so, and the problem is, DC especially has been chasing that buck ever since. And, it's got to be grim and gritty. It's got to be. Look, I'm going to say this, and I say this as somebody who can't stand Mark Waid. One of my favorite Superman stories is Birthright.
Mm-hmm.
And because that just portrays, Superman as he is supposed to be, right? He's just a good dude trying to do the right thing, And one of the things is like, you're talking about like his relationships with his, adoptive parents versus his, his biological parents and stuff like that. One of the things that I really enjoyed about that is at the end of the book, because like I said, basically figured out how to use the Phantom Zone projector, and you find out it was a projector through time in that story, right? You can, and because, Jor-El and Lara, one of their things was like they were worried that, they didn't make it in time. They, Cal wouldn't make it. Miscalculations, whatever, anything could happen. And one of the last things they see on their end of the projector is him standing there in the full suit, and he looks at him and says, "Mom, Dad, I made it." Simple.
I mean, perfect.
Simple. Yeah, like simple. That's all you need, But and going back to that, it's like another thing was one of the things. And like I said, this goes back to the old, chasing the formula. Man of Steel, which was a good story, don't get me wrong, also kind of fell into that trap because, John Byrne kind of made the Kryptonians, just kind of jerks.
Yeah.
It's like, it was less that, they were trying to save, Jor-El and Lara were trying to save their baby because they loved him. They were trying to save him because it was logical.
Yeah.
Like we need to save our race, and he's going to be the last of our race, and blah blah blah. Whereas in the originals, stuff, it was literally like we're not going to let our baby die. And that speaks to the love of parents. That that it crosses over all that stuff. So you're not going to get that in this book, because he's an adult. He just shows up, whatever. Unless they do.
Here's my thing, man. I'm all for gritty and edgy storytelling when the situation warrants it. But the problem that I have with this is that I really feel like they are bastardizing these characters for the sake of bastardizing them.
Mm-hmm.
Because of current year bullshit.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that this is not going to sell long term. Because these characters, just from the description, are so fucking unlikable.
Right.
I don't want to read a Superman who's a prick, or is edgy, or looks like the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, or Green Day, or some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
because that's not what I read Superman for. You know, I don't need Samoan Wonder Woman witch lady raised by Cersei or whatever who stole Cloud's sword. I just want Diana. It's with Batman. I just want Batman. I like Bruce Wayne as Bruce Wayne because it works for him as a character. And when you fuck with the formula, it's sort of like every once in a while you will have something that when you mess with the formula, you will get an interesting thought experiment. Superman Red Sun is a good example of that.
Yes.
Like, what if there was a Soviet Superman? How would the world be different? You know, that's an interesting thought experiment. You know, saying that dead Darkseid, but Darkseid influence goes to this other place and blah blah blah. First off, you kill Darkseid where one place, you kill him everywhere. Because the new gods, the fourth world does not have separate dimensions. There's only one fourth world.
Yeah. There's only one. Yeah.
Exactly. The Darkseid is. That was something that, oddly enough, Tom King got right in his Mr. Miracle. You know, he simply is. He is a god. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of no-talent hacks at DC, man. None of them deserve any of this. Like, I just read that apparently Brian Azzarello is going to be doing this Absolute Wonder Woman at first, and it's like, I love Brian Azzarello, but that is a bad pick.
Yeah.
Because I love Azzarello's Joker, because he turned Joker into a villain again. Like, it's not like, oh, he's just this kooky, crazy man. No, he's fucking evil. You know, he did the same thing with Luthor in his Lex Luthor Man of Steel book. You know, it's like, these are bad people. Why do the good guys need to be bad people? Like, it's a fascination that doesn't make any sense to me. This is making the same mistake that Superior Spider-Man did. That's what's bugging me. It just dawned on me. It's Superior Spider-Man all over again. It wasn't cool when Dan Slott did it. It doesn't work here either. This is stupid.
Right.
You know, I don't want Twink Kal-El. Give me Clark Kent as he is. Get rid of his gay son. Nobody cares about his gay son. Get rid of all that. Just give me Clark Kent, Superman, doing Superman things. Give me Wonder Woman doing Wonder Woman things. Give me Bruce Wayne, Batman doing Batman things. It's stop overthinking it.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate Spider-Man is tearing up the charts right now in comic book sales. Not because it's an alternate universe telling. It's because it's essentially the type of Spider-Man stories we've been wanting for the last 20 fucking years that Zeb Wells certainly isn't going to give us, because he gave us an author insert and turned Peter Parker into Peter Cucker.
Yep.
I still don't understand why they made Peter friends with Paul all of a sudden.
That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense either. The Marvel is fucked.
No, his chicken masala is great though.
Man, I hope he chokes on it. Fuck Paul. We have a button for this.
Fuck him.
Seriously, just
Did we get into what Batman's origin is in this?
He's an engineer in Crime Alley. He was raised in Crime Alley. There's the possibility he may have grown up as friends with some of the people that are his villains.
And Alfred's not his butler.
What?
Alfred's not his butler. Alfred in this universe is like an MI6 agent that worked with Bruce.
Well, he already wasn't. Yeah, he actually was an MI6 agent in real life.
It's just like,
but he became the butler though. That was
because for shits and giggles.
Oh no, the whole thing with that was like Thomas Wayne hired somebody who could protect their family, and also a butler. No, so, but yeah, so basically they've made Bruce Wayne Tony Stark, essentially, without the money.
Basically.
Hey, I wonder if he'll steal all this technology that Riri Williams did.
Oh my god. well, apparently he doesn't have privilege. Fuck off. Scott Snyder, fuck you. Fuck you and your stupid face.
Why is there always somebody with the last name Snyder?
I don't know,
Right?
dude.
You know,
Dang.
and it's always spelled that Snyder. You know, like Rob Schneider is cool. You know, like
Rob Schneider did derp de derp.
but you know what I mean.
I can't. I have to do it now. Rob Schneider this summer stars in the derp de derp de deedly derp de derpy dum, rated PG-13. Okay, I got it out of my system.
Yeah,
I mean,
but yeah, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
what is it with these like Zach and Scott? And is there any other out there that are just horrible? Like,
We'll find him.
yeah, like
We'll find him at some point.
and keep them out of like comic book writing, right? Like,
Anything comic book oriented. Just they're allowed to go over there and make shitty zombie movies. Okay.
yeah.
What kind of asshole makes a zombie movie with a pink logo? Zack Snyder.
Right.
That's who.
Zack Snyder, yeah.
So yeah, I just have to say at this point, like, when this or for those of you who see this and you choose to purchase a book from Grindstone Arts instead, thank you. Thank you for trusting us with that money, and I promise you, as the head of this company, I will make sure it is well spent. All right, final topic for the day. So when you fail, apparently the new message to the young people is to blame the racists.
I
yes.
need to incorporate that method into my Black Rhapsody campaign.
Okay, I'm gonna start. Rena, you're black.
You have to go harder than that, damn it.
You're
we can't-
black. You're
You're a
black with
woman.
hard B.
Yeah.
Take that.
Hard B.
Hard B.
Also, you're a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't get any support from the woman party. It gets more hatred for the black part. Focus on that. Don't focus on my gender.
Well, but you're a black woman. That should make it even better, right? Like,
Yes,
Yeah,
but
that's according to some people, that's like the top of the pyramid. You know, you are clearly the
Yeah,
most
but-
oppressed.
okay.
yeah,
but if-
but not really.
okay. Let me ask you this. Let's see if we can round this out for you to help you out. Okay. Are you sassy?
Yes.
Okay. Do you not need no man?
Yes.
Perfect.
Except the one that's editing my book. That's different.
No. Yeah. Bravo.
I mean, fair enough.
Okay, I
That one got. I think that one got me even like whoa.
I just want everybody to know I did not ask her to say that. What the fuck?
So
Oh.
the byline would read, "Sassy black woman who needs one man."
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh. Oh Lord.
We
Long
got a topic, but
pauses.
yeah, the Acolyte. Oh my goodness.
Acolyte, yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
this movie. What we
So
doing?
apparently the star of this show is blaming the failure of the show on racism. Not the fact that it sucked, which by the way is not her fault. She didn't write it. You know, it's not the fact that all it did was just make Star Wars fans want to turn it off because it was nonsensical and silly and poorly written. Again, not her fault. But no, it's them darn racist white people that are the reason that it fell short.
Crowd about yelling about how shows aren't made for certain groups, and then that they shouldn't watch them if they're so offended by their existence.
I really hate that fucking excuse. I fucking swear to God, that started to piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going. What's it? See, it's Amandla. Which, by the way, Amandla, really. What's her last name?
Stenberg.
Keep in mind, a good portion of these are they choose their names.
Oh, I know. That's why I said Amandla. Really, that's what you know. Amanda doesn't sound good enough. I'm gonna put an L in it somewhere. Hey L for all that losses that she's taken. Hey.
Hey.
But anyway, this is a person, and I think we could all agree here, who has never wanted for anything in their life, ever. But they were told their entire life how they were oppressed, how they will never, the everything is stacked against them, that nothing will ever be good enough because you're never going to break that ceiling. Blah 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 blah. She is a fully indoctrinated being, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything about her is, it has to have political bent. It is never the show. It's never the thing she's a part of is fault. It's never her fault. It's got to be those people who didn't watch the show's fault.
We're just gonna ignore literally her telling everyone not to watch shit. Just ignore that.
Yeah. Wasn't she one of those literally don't watch it if you don't want to see it? Like, okay, then they listen to you.
You told people not to watch it.
Yeah, they listen to you. What are you upset about?
The fuck do you think was gonna happen?
Right. Yeah. It's so funny. I saw a thing, and I was waiting for it too. The YouTube channel How It Should Have Ended.
Yeah.
It's got Yoda talking to the green bitch, and he goes like, because she says something like, Master, we have to talk. He says, no, this shit I am done with. Fired you are. And she
That's
says,
great.
what? Why? He says like, and it was funny because he says like, everything is shit you did, blah blah blah, and then he force pulls her lightsaber, and it does that all floppy shit because it's a whip, and he goes like, keep this floppy thing you can. And then she said, but Master, I can fix it if you just give me another $128 million and 10 episodes. And then he pushes her out.
I want to just say this, that there needs to be an understanding of a couple of different things. First and foremost, as of right now, the last census in 2020, 70% of the United States, one of the biggest countries in the world, identifies as white. Either completely or partially. So that is a vast majority of the population. A super majority, basically. Over 2/3.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what art you create. If you're marketing it towards the United States, or just English-speaking countries in general, most of who you are marketing it towards are white people.
Mm-hmm.
Period, point blank. Now, here's the thing about white people, and here's the thing about black people, and Asian people, and Hispanic people, and so on and so forth. Do you want to know who people of all backgrounds like? A guy who's half monkey named Goku.
Oh yes,
the
perfect man.
And here's the point I am making with Goku. Is that Goku is for everybody. You know who else is for everybody? Yoda, and Luke Skywalker, and Mace Windu, and so on and so forth. The fact of the matter is that if you tell that many people who could like your character and have liked other characters, no matter their race or gender, you tell them to fuck off, and then they fuck off, you don't get to hold the bag and get mad at them for fucking off. You told them to do it. So it's not racism. It's you're a prick. That's it. You're a bitch in this case.
You told them to leave, and you don't understand why they left.
Yeah. generally speaking, like if you tell someone to leave, they'll unless they're an asshole, they'll comply.
Yeah.
You know? And you shouldn't tell somebody to leave unless you don't want them there. And that includes not wanting their money. Remember Robin Williams used to make this joke about the Quebecois, saying that they constantly wanted to, defect from Canada, but they wanted to keep the money.
Yep.
It's like wanting to move out of your parents' house but still get allowance. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like this is my problem, generally speaking, with a lot of entertainers these days, is that they consistently act like if they say, I don't want you around, that they're still entitled to something from those people. No, you're not. Like, one of the things that I learned very early on as an entertainer is that every once in a while you do have to kick someone out of the audience. If they're being disruptive or they're being something like that. Or if you're working in a restaurant, every once in a while you got to kick somebody out. And trust me, when I was a bouncer, I loved being told to kick somebody out. I loved it. Because when I got to do it, they were usually a dick. And either one of two things is going to happen. There's this big 6'2" guy in a suit going to walk up to you and say you need to leave. And they're gonna, the first thing that's, one of two things is going to happen. One, they're going to try to fight. And my whole thought is, oh, please do it. This is going to be fun. Or they sit down and go, I am so sorry. I didn't realize that I was being this way. Can we try to work this out? And suddenly it's yes sir, no sir.
Mm-hmm.
But that is what working taught me. And working in entertainment and working in service industries taught me is that ultimately you have to do the best that you can for your audience. And look, everybody, like I think every major actor that has ever been out there, I don't think there's any actor that has never been in a bad movie except like maybe Daniel Day-Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it's one of those things where you showed up and you did your job. You did what was asked of you, and then you went home. And you got your paycheck, you got your big business, you got your big Disney money, you got your bank. And you might get lucky enough to where somebody in Hollywood actually did watch that show and enjoy it, and maybe they'll want to cast you for whatever the fuck they're doing. And thus the cycle continues. What this tells people, especially big studios, is that you're a pain in the ass to work with. And that you're going to tell the people that they want to spend money on tickets to fuck off. Congratulations, less people are going to want to work with you. It bugs the shit out of me because I just think to myself, like, what the fuck do you expect?
It's, can we literally say this is a case of wanting their cake and, but not wanting their cake, but also trying to eat it? Like, and get mad. And get mad when somebody didn't bring the cake. Like.
I have a feeling that this behind the scenes has spooked the investors so badly that any of these projects that have even like a remote whiff of this woke shit, that money's disappearing, which is why she's complaining about racism. She's hoping that she can bring it back with the cargo cult prayer of, oh, if it's just that the fans were racist. The fans are racist. It's the cargo cult. It's the most absolute cargo cult behavior I've ever seen. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's give you an example. After Acolyte was canceled, they tried their they did a petition to try to uncancel the Acolyte, blah blah blah. Well, I need another another petition came out, and it's I laugh because it's so funny. He says uncanonize the Acolyte, and that's already got more signatures than the people who want it brought back. And it's like I had this discussion with Xavier before, and this was one of the examples of, the reason I thought, granted, I always thought the idea of the High Republic was stupid because, a rock is a co-pilot, shit like that,
yeah.
right? And, but the whole idea I thought is like, well, at least that means they can do High Republic, and that way they don't mess with the main canon. They don't have to even touch it. They can just do all these other stories over in this thing, right? And then the first major thing that comes out for the High Republic shit is that. And they tried desperately to tie it to the original trilogies, And it's like, good job, you broke it, and then you put in shit that don't make sense, and, the Force is female, and blah, 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 like, the power of one, the power of two, the power of no money, but, that's like, I don't understand. I'll put it this way. What is the aversion suddenly to all these companies not wanting to make money? I thought that was the point of major corporations. We got to make as much money as we can.
Hell, goodness. Who was the company? Was it Chevrolet? Chevrolet, I think, that Chevrolet that sued Ford because Ford was trying to increase the working conditions for their workers, but then the Chevrolet argued that the only purpose of a corporation was to increase stockholder money. That was it, and they won. The assholes. Okay, whatever. But
so they pulled the fiduciary card.
Yes.
Where as a fiduciary, which is which a board of directors is for a company, their goal is to make their investors as much money as possible, right? And like you said, the fact that like on a legal basis that they could argue that is some bullshit, but that's the way the law was written, unfortunately, So, and it's stupid. It's stupid, but I'm seeing Disney like for the past like 3 or 4 years doing the exact opposite of that. It's like, let's make things that will not make money and lose us money.
I had to double check. It was Dodge versus Ford Motor Company.
It was Dodge. Well, still that's Chrysler. Like still one of the big ones. But yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, man. Like
it is mind-boggling to me just because it's one of those things where I look at this and I say, like, look, the reason this failed comes down to the fact that, for the show, like, the showrunner had no business being there. No business writing it. No business being anywhere near it. The most she had done before were lesser-known documentaries. She had never done a sci-fi action series. And suddenly we're giving her Star Wars. We're giving the fucking casting couch scheduler for Harvey Weinstein a Star Wars story. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
The thing that I look at this and I say to myself, it's like, I thought back to, and I don't know if Serena and I were talking about this last night, is I think back to Iman Vellani, I think is her name, the girl who plays Miss Marvel in the MCU.
Uh-huh.
When the Marvels flopped, she had one of the most mature responses I had ever seen to a film flopping in years, where she just basically said, look, I came in, I did my job, I did it to the best of my ability, I worked with what I was given, and after doing my job, and if the film flops, that's out of my hands, because I just did everything I could to the best of my ability. And at the end of the day, I'm lucky enough to get to act for a living. My family's proud of me. I'm happy with the fact that I get to do this stuff for a living. That's all I can say about it. Right. That is a mature adult look at when something doesn't go right. Because she just looks on the bright side. It's like, well, yeah, that sucks. I wish it had done better. But all these other things are going right in my life, so it's not like it's the end of the world.
Right.
And hopefully the next thing I do will do better.
Yeah.
And Then you see this, and I'm just like, man, how the fuck did the actress from Miss Marvel end up being one of the mature people in Hollywood?
Hmm. I mean, I'm glad at that response. You know, that's says something. You notice what's her name? Brie Larson just kind of disappeared after all that. You know, like
Really, I hadn't noticed, but then again, she kind of blends in with the furniture.
I mean, fair enough.
yeah, she stood sideways and you never saw her again. Right?
Yeah.
She might have wandered over to the local lumber shop.
I heard that somebody, like, you know, she was in a store one day and somebody ran up and sprayed some Windex on her ass, and she said, "What are you doing?" It says spray on flat surfaces. Yeah,
Now we are all imagining her flat ass. This is terrible. Let's move on.
Well, that was our last topic for the week.
Good. Mm-hmm.
The man, what a I don't even know how to put to like, so much dumb this week, and it could have all been avoided. So, folks, can I just ask, please stop blaming your failures on people that had nothing to do with you failing. Please just stop. It was one of the most depressing things to me, because if there's any one thing that stops your development as a person, it is saying that these other people that really have no influence over me are actually destroying my life somehow. Nah, there's a... You control you. That is the message of the week. You control you. You control your responses. You control your ability to do things. That is still in your control. You can control you. And if you allow other people to stick in your head like that to where you don't succeed, or maybe you fuck up and like print backwards comics, like that's not on them, that's on you. Just saying. So on that note, does anybody else have any final words?
Rihanna, I gotta reiterate, you're black.
Yay, I'm oppressed.
with the hard B.
With the hard B.
Now I can finally print millions of comics and make lots of money for you, Micah.
Okay, I'm starting to see the benefits of this oppression thing. Shit. Oh, goodness. But yeah, folks, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us once again. Don't forget, if you're listening to the podcast anywhere, don't forget to follow us on whichever platform you're hearing us on. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. Don't just hit that follow button. Also, don't forget to let your friends know that there's a great podcast to listen to on a weekly basis, talking about the absolute silliness that goes on within entertainment. And we will all continue to have fun together. So on that note, for everybody here and for Grindstone Arts, my name is Micah Curtis, the president, CEO, and everything else. Well, not everything else, just co-owner of Grindstone Arts. Thank you all so much for listening to us. Have yourselves a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.
Brick.